Welcome back to Sunday afternoon football here on KO 9 Now and QPlus.tv. As the players warming up, we just saw Jackson Fry on screen there as we get set for the Battle of the Bayside. And the countdown is on. We're not too far away now. Redcliffe in desperate need of a win. Who would have thought would be saying it in round 4, looking to open their account this afternoon against arch rivals, the Wynnum Manly Seagulls. Let's take a look how they'll line up this afternoon. We'll start with the Dolphins. Fuller, Braden McGrady in his 50th game, Robert Jennings, Valence Tavare and Jeremy Hawkins. The halves, Connor Williams and Cody Hunter. The forward pack, Varmasili, Patama, Watts, Jackson Fry, Jeremiah Simbican and Tyson Cleal. On the bench, King, McIndoe, Louis and Ryan Jackson. The 18th man is Isaac Jackson, and they're coached by Ben Teo. Their opponents, the Wynnum Manly Seagulls. At the back for them, Matthew Milson, Yellowmoz, Sim, Mariner and Croft. The halves, Josh Rogers and skipper Brendan O'Hagan. The forward pack, Fartilli, Smoothie, Samuel, Brendan Fry, Larker and Max Platt. In jumper number 18, locking the scrum. On the bench, Brody Tamarua on debut today. Palolo Saitau returns, Jack Martin and also Tony Pello. Their 18th man is Bailey Hartwig and they're coached by Matthew Head. And Warren, we've got 2 first-year Host Plus Cup coaches in Ben Teo and Matthew Head in this Battle of the Bayside this afternoon. But as we mentioned, Redcliffe still looking for their first win. They had a great comeback against Norths early in the year, but just off the ball a bit last week against the Burleigh Bears.
Yeah, and just conceding too many points in the first half, making it very hard for them. But look, there's talent in this side, and it's still only round 4. I always feel it's about round 3, round 4, where teams start to show what they've really got for the season. In the case of Wynnum, I mean, they've had such a turnover of players, as Adam told us, something like 10 new faces in the 17 today. It's been amazing they've been able to develop combinations so quickly. On the other hand, Redcliffe, you know, there's sort of the basis there of last year's team, and I don't know whether it's just a bit of a hangover from last year. They haven't quite hit their stride. We heard Ben Teo asking for more energy from the start today. I think more energy, more concentration in defence will go a long way towards a much better performance from them. I think they've got it, Redcliffe. I think that this is a team that we are going to watch as the season goes on. If you remember last year, they were way down the bottom of the ladder halfway through the competition and came roaring home, won something like 11 in a row.
That's right.
And then makes the grand final. So don't underestimate Redcliffe, particularly in a Battle of the Bayside. These two geographically, they like to smash each other, and there's history. They've always been at the top of the competition, these two. They'll go at it today. Oh,
yes. Bad blood runs deep, Warren. This is a rivalry, make no mistake. Redcliffe running from right to left of screen. And our player to watch today from the Redcliffe Dolphins is Jackson Fry in that jumper number 11. And if you need to get to the game, of course, make sure you fill up with Shell V-Power 98, the premium fuel designed to deliver unbeatable protection. Fuel the feeling. Our referee for today, Jared Cole, his 138th Host Plus Cup game. And a minute's silence there for Ian Morton, a long time and current Redcliffe District Rugby League Football Club board member. Our thoughts go to Ian and his family. And we're underway here as Trey Fuller kicks off for the Redcliffe Dolphins. It'll be Wynnum Manly with first use of the footy as they bring it back to the 10 metres and make that 11 metres out from their own line on play number 1. The Seagulls. That was Caius Fartilli, Warren. He's a young cop who's come through the grades and playing Host Plus Cup this year. He's definitely one to watch.
Yeah, we remember him playing in the Colts Grand Final a couple of years ago, that winning team with Max Plath, and he's been starting in the front row most games so far this season. A young man making his mark, and they're breakthrough here. Max Plath up the middle.
Plath is away. He's got support on the inside. He'll dummy here, Max Plath. We just mentioned his name, and what a start, an early line break from Max Plath, starting lock forward today, as Jennings, I think it was, got a hand to that. He did. They had the overlap there, but promising signs early from Wynnum Manly.
And conversely, very disappointing for Redcliffe to see their front line of defence cracked at the Wynnum 20-metre line. Just opened up for Plath, came busting straight through the line.
Wait now.
Just didn't have the support. Everyone was surprised to see him make a break from there.
Hold, go.
So there's Smoothie, who is with the Wynnum Manly side this year. Tyson Smoothie, the former Falcon. Also Broncos contracted as well these days. And that was Brendan Fry, and here he is again. Had the opening hit up K.S. Fartil. He's a bit of a cult figure, cult hero type player. The fans love him. As Smoothie sends it towards the outer side. Oh, lovely pass over the top there from Rogers. And here's a chance for Gellum Osby. Can he stay in the field of play? Miraculously manages to somehow stay in field. And now again, Brendan Fry, the two Fry brothers going head-to-head today, both number 11s, Jackson and Brendan. And so Wynnum Manly, with the halfback and skipper O'Hagan on the inside, finds Kitron Larker. Hasn't he been a revelation, the Papua New Guinean? Smoothie and Rogers. It ricocheted there off Simbican, and he got a kind bounce and a big play there from Jeremiah Simbican.
Certainly was, to get his feet across to block that kick and then retain possession for Redcliffe, when otherwise they could have been, well, if not conceding a try, at least a dropout from their own end. Big turnaround by Simbican.
Yeah, wonderful play for his team as the Seagulls now muscle up in defence. And that's Nathan Watts.
Yeah, Simbican blocking the kick of Rogers.
Well read, here's some early ball to Tavare, who gets away initially there from Jack Croft, the Englishman. There is Simbican. And we'll talk about a couple of the English players in this Wynnum Manly team, Warren, but there is a couple of them that have come across thanks to Matthew Head from the Super League.
Yes, three of them in the back line there with Joshua Sim, Jack Croft and Brendan O'Hagan.
And a little knock on there from Tavare, so handing possession to Wynnum Manly. And Matthew Head really has got this team humming along. Undefeated, the Wynnum Manly Seagulls, and top of the table coming into this one.
Well, they should really be putting the hammer down here early in the game, Wynnum Manly, because they've rocked Redcliffe 2 or 3 times. We nearly saw Gillum Mosby score in the corner after the Plath break. That passes forward, I would have thought. It's over the sideline anyway. But, yeah, they've immediately put the pressure right on the Dolphins.
These two sides have met on 56 occasions previously. The Dolphins winning 33 to Wynnum Manly's 21. There's been 2 draws. And interestingly enough, the home team has won the last 8 games between these two teams. So
we're on the clock here.
An omen on the Dolphins side at least.
It just shows you, again, the rivalry between the two, how much home ground counts. It's almost a certainty you're going to win. Until maybe today, who knows?
Who knows, of course. We'll find out over the next 80 minutes or so. And now the Dolphins with a chance. They're through Cody Hunter. He's going to score here, Hunter, as he gets away from the Milson attempted tackle. And Cody Hunter, out of nothing from the scrum. And the Dolphins are jubilant. They have the first on the board.
Well, a couple of remarkable breaks made by both teams early in the game, and this is Jeremy Hawkins from his own side of halfway from the scrum. A lovely step, gets to the outside, leaves O'Hagan behind. Cody Hunter, the halfback, looms up, brilliant support play. He was awake to the possibilities from the scrum, and around he comes, and it's not Wynnum Manly who score first, it's the Redcliffe Dolphins.
Cody Hunter opens the scoring for the Dolphins. He's contracted with the NRL Redcliffe Dolphins side, Warren. He was actually the first Dolphins junior to sign with the NRL Dolphins.
There you go. Well, of course, it's quite a different setup for the Dolphins this year. Instead of being affiliated to the Warriors, now they are the feeder to their own NRL club. A very different feel, I would have thought, around the club. Very positive feel. A great opportunity for these players. Cody Hunter being one of them, a young man with a big future ahead. And they needed him back at halfback today. Missed him last week.
So Hunter converts, and convert your containers into cash donations for your club. Visit containersforchange.com.au. And Adam Jackson, a dream start for the home team.
Oh, certainly is. The crowd on their feet cheering that one in front of the main grandstand. Just on the conditions, 26 degrees down here on the sideline. Feels a lot warmer. That sun's got a lot of sting to it. Slight breeze in favour of the Dolphins at the moment. Not sure we picked up on it in commentary as I was getting to my seat. So what makes that try all the more remarkable, they've been reduced to 12 men here early, the Dolphins. So Robert Jennings was actually sin-binned for that infringement early on. So he was sin-binned in that second minute of the match. See ya.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Adam. Well, we missed that one, didn't we, Warren?
Yeah, certainly it was all happening out there. I mean, for the first couple of minutes, it was all Wynnum Manly until that pass, which was possibly forward and certainly over the sideline, conceded the scrum. And then Jeremy Hawkins just blasting out of the backfield, and he took on the halfback, O'Hagan, for what in the hell's going on here?
So Robert Jennings in the bin. And I wonder what that was for. He knocked. We just saw a replay, knocked the ball down. In any case, I wanted to ask you, Warren. We saw Hawkins, a wonderful job by him in setting up that try. Have you ever seen a winger pass so early to a halfback to run away and score? I mean, you are a former winger. Thought I'd ask you. You wouldn't have done that, surely.
Well, a lot of wingers would have just set sail. A lot of wingers would have just set sail for the line, thinking this is mine. But no, he was smart enough to just draw the fullback and pass. And it was great work by Hunter to be there, to call for the ball.
How about Gella Mosby? Just putting Nathan Watts on his backside. Drifting across here, Milson, former Norths Devil, back with Wynnum Manly.
Even Milson finding a bit of space there. Wynnum Manly showing a liking to throw it wide down the left-hand edge here.
There's Dean Mariner, scored 4 tries against the Ipswich Jets last week. Seagulls find themselves behind here early on, 6 points to 0. Smoothie looked to go the short side, then came infield, finding William Samuel, the former Brisbane Tiger. This time he goes short side. Smoothie, Rogers, kick back in towards the middle, and just a little bit too much on the kick there from Rogers, who came across from the Burleigh Bears in the off-season. Josh Rogers, Perth-born and now Broncos contracted. Warren, I know you're a big fan of Josh Rogers.
Yeah, well, I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do now that he's part of the Broncos system, training with them in the off-season. Got the experience of a great coaching system above him. Not that he doesn't have that with Wynnum Manly. What an assembly of coaches they've put together this year. So it's all ahead of Josh Rogers at the age of about 26, but I think he's got the ability.
On halfway here, the Dolphins.
Don't work him, Max.
And just shy of the 40-metre line here is their front rower there in Farmer Silly. So the kick comes in, it'll find touch, 10 out. So conservative set from the Dolphins, but they're looking pretty solid early on. There's Cody Hunter on screen, the halfback, who scored their opening try.
Yeah, it's interesting with Matthew Head taking over the coaching at Wynnum Manly. And of course, he was coaching the St George under-20s at one point and filled in for the top grade coach at one stage as well, Matt Head. So he's already accumulated a fair deal of experience. He replaces Adam Brightson, last year's coach, but as an assistant coach, he's got Darren Nichols coming into the system from playing with the Tigers last year. So they've got some ability in the coaching ranks this year, Wynnum Manly. So far they've been delivering, but they're a little shocked to be behind here early.
Well, let's not forget Matt Head came from an assistant NRL coaching job at the St George Illawarra Dragons.
Well, I mean, he came from assistant. I'm pretty sure there was a sacking, a moving on of a coach, and I think Matt Head filled in as the first grade coach for a period of time, yeah.
So the Wynnum Manly Seagulls, off the back of the penalties, we take another look at this, thanks to the Maccas replay. As we acknowledge the Wynnum Manly Seagulls matchday sponsor, BMD. BMD is a national group of companies engaged in engineering, design, construction, land development and infrastructure. BMD is proud to have been principal sponsor of the Wynnum Manly Seagulls for over 25 years. Offload away to keep it alive there from Brendan Fry. As Mariner plays it 12 out. Centering run here, William Samuel. Only 10 away centre field as Smoothie. Just sends Fartilli to the left, but he goes the way of the right. Here's O'Hagan, the skipper this year, and pouncing on it there was Larker. Did he get there first?
The ball first. Goal line dropout. We're all up.
I think Tafare got there first. He did. And that's a big effort from the huge centre, Valence Tafare. He has to turn. He's a big man. Turned, hit the accelerator and was just able to beat the chasers to the ball. Look at him. The big number 4 turns, gets to the ball just in front of them to save the day. Not a bad kick.
He might have actually grounded that, Tavare. Well done. So the line drop out. Will reach O'Hagan there, 45 out from the try line as he feeds Caius Fartilli. Part of that Wynnum Manly Colts team in 2021. Also in that team was Max Plath, who had kicked the winning field goal next time, I believe. Here is Max Plath. He's not in the halves today. He's playing lock. Chance here. Milson, Mariner. Mariner still going. He's got Milson on the inside. He doesn't need him. Dean Mariner breaking tackles at ease, at will. Smoothie. And here is Max Plath. And Plath, he slams it down, and he's got Wynnum Manly's opener. And there is a response from the Seagulls.
Certainly is. It was a good lead up, wasn't it? Once they forced the dropout and they applied the pressure, Dean Mariner was very dangerous on the left, remembering that he scored 4 tries last week, 4 tries in the one game. He took them close. Max Platt steps inside. One of the forwards, Nathan Watts, racing up quickly, trying to cut him off, but instead he beats him. That opened up an alley and he squeezes between a number of players. Trey Fuller arrives too late to stop the try, and the big stretch from Max Platt, younger brother, son I should say, of the great Johnny Plath from the Broncos days. And what a good try on the Macca's replay.
Host Plus is a top-performing industry super fund, run only to benefit our members. An industry fund that puts you first? That's a plus.
Max Plath. We mentioned, talk about Colt heroes, son of the great Johnny Plath. He's as cold as they come. One of the Broncos' greatest ever interchange players. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Johnny Plath. He had some wonderful years at the Broncos in those early days.
He was a number 14 before number 14 became famous.
And so Josh Rogers, he just needs 3 more goals to bring up 200 career Host Plus Cup goals. Does Josh Rogers? We're tied up Adam Jackson at 6 points all.
Yeah, such a bonus having a lock forward who's also a ball player. We saw Plath come through the ranks as a 5'8", then no doubt the Dolphins players were thinking pass, he thought run and gets the points. Wynnum Manly hasn't had too much to celebrate here this afternoon. I mentioned 3 curtain raises. The Dolphins have actually won them all here this afternoon. Women's under 19s, Dolphins 16-4, Cyril Connell Cup, Dolphins 28-10. And the game before Melbourne Cup under 18s, Dolphins 38-36 thriller. So Wynnum looking to turn the tables here in the Host Plus Cup.
Yes, well, big day for the Dolphins, looking to do the clean sweep here, but here is Fartilli, who crashes his way through, finds Matthew Milson, who'll be hard to stop. Fuller's chasing in pursuit. It's Fuller v Milson, and Milson wins. Matthew Milson scores, and that's now 2 tries in 2 minutes from Wynnum Manly.
Well, Ben Teo, the Dolphins coach, will be shaking his head at the fact that Fartilli was able to step through the front line. This is unheard of. We saw the first break of the game by Max Platt straight through the front line, and now the big front rower for Wynnum Manly beats one, steps into clear space, finds support. Beautiful back up there from the fullback and the lock forward as well. But it's Matthew Milson, the fullback, streaking away for another fine try from Wynnum Manly. But this Dolphins defence being shown right up on the Macca's replay.
Cheers to the East Tigers for their amazing fundraising. And cheers to Daphne and Frank, whose empties fund their grandkids' piggy bank. Cheers to the Changemakers.
Well done, young man. Caius Fartilli putting down for a try assist. Finished off by Matthew Milson, who had the last touch of the grand final win for Norths. I believe that was the 21 win, not last year, but 2 tries in 2 minutes, Warren. The Seagulls have turned this game on its head.
Well, and again, we saw one of the Redcliffe forwards coming out of the line quickly, trying to make a big hit, trying to put an impression on the opposition, drive them back, cut down the yardage gain, but he was stepped very easily by the fairly nimble-footed front rower, Caius Fartilli. And once he steps past the first one, there's a hole in behind where he's come from, and it was able to then quickly shoot straight through the line. I mean, it's one thing to go for the big hit, but if you're going to miss it and leave a space in the defensive line, you're just asking for trouble.
That's 2 tries in a row now where the middles missing tackles in quick succession. Here's Rogers. Now 11 in from touch, and he misses that one to the right. So the score remains 10 points to 6, Adam. It all started with Caius Fartilli and finished off with the speed of Matthew Milson.
I really like the look of this Wynnum Manly forward pack with all the retirements and off-season changes. They've got a good mix of youth and experience, and Milson's been thereabouts in the Host Plus Cup the past few years and one of the great finishers. But in a positive for the Dolphins now, they're back to 13 men. It looks like Jennings is on the field once again after that sin binning.
Thank you, Adam. Do we know what George Jennings was sin bin for?
It was, they made the break. It was a try-scoring opportunity. He knocked the ball down when he was offside, so that was the reasoning.
Thank you, Adam. I should say Robert Jennings, not George. So they're back to 13 on 13 now. Good news for the Dolphins.
Yeah, looking at the last replay of that try of the break being made by Fartilli, what happened was Ben King, he actually came from marker rather than out of the line itself, but he went from marker shooting across field trying to get quickly to Fartilli. But outshot him on the sidestep from Fartilli. He just went straight back inside and barely touched him on the way past.
Here is Fartilli. No Albert Kelly for the Dolphins today. They've got that very young halves pairing of Williams and also Hunter. And unable to complete their set here, Wynnum Manly. So we will see those young halves in action, Warren, and that'll be a big test for the Dolphins, won't it? The fact that they do have a little bit of inexperience in the halves in comparison to their Seagulls counterparts today.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Connor Williams played halfback last week and didn't play too badly. He had Albert Kelly alongside him who did a lot of the calling and organising last week, but alongside Cody Hunter, they're both. What's Williams? I think he's not 21 yet, is he? Cody Hunter's only 21. So, yeah, a bit of an experience there. And now the ball goes down, dropped by Nathan Watts, and that's a costly mistake.
Well, Connor Williams was on debut only last week, scored a try on debut. As you mentioned, Cody Hunter, the 21-year-old. So it's with Gella Mosby and the Wynnum Manly Seagulls for now. They lead 10 points to 6.
But it hasn't been their fault that they're behind on the scoreboard so far. They haven't really been in many attacking positions to dictate play.
Samuel on halfway.
Hold. Go 3, Connor.
So Smoothie to the skipper, Brendan O'Hagan, first year with Wynnum Manly. Fartilli, what an outstanding game he's having early as Rogers distributes to Larker, and he just spilt the footy on that occasion.
Connor Williams, 20 years old, and Hunter, 21 years old. Connor Williams coming into the team today, a game day replacement for Albert Kelly. His experience missing from the side today. Of course, last year Albert Kelly, he's still on the Broncos books, I believe, but coming through the Wynnum Manly feeder system. But last year Albert Kelly played a couple of games for the Broncos and acquitted himself pretty well. I remember earlier in the season racing away for a try for the Broncos.
So Robert Jennings, who was sin-binned earlier, just a metre short of halfway. Set restart here for Redcliffe.
Straight away, Max and Josh. Here, hold.
And that's the number 13, who's on Ben King, another Dolphins junior who can play big minutes, although starting off the bench today. And now Braden McGrady scored the winning try in last year's grand final at this very ground for Norths against Redcliffe in his 50th Host Plus Cup game today on that right wing.
Got 2 tries in the grand final, didn't he? I think so. Braden had a good game.
Looks like Junimus Louis also on. And here's Farmer Silly. Patama, he was skipper in that grand final. Across field, As Williams linking up there with Simbican. Comes back as the play stays alive with Patama, who shrugs a tackle. And some nifty footwork here by his halves counterpart in Hunter. And they're only a couple of metres away. A little bit of momentum here for the Dolphins. Patama with the crash ball to his skipper in Louis. He's over the line. Can he get it down?
Well, it was a good play, wasn't it? Well worked, smart thinking by Patama to link up with the big men, and they almost caught the defence napping, but they were just able to quickly get across and cover it. And that is a handover. It was the last tackle, so it comes to naught, but nevertheless a much more promising set, holding possession and putting a few plays together.
We mentioned no Albert Kelly today for the Dolphins. The Seagulls missing a few themselves. DeLuise Hoyter, who's out for another month with that shoulder injury, and they've also got the likes of Luke Gale, Cooper Page-Wilson and Shalom Afua unavailable today.
It's amazing really to take a look at this Wynnum side. There's something like 12 regulars from last year have left the club or retired. Most of them out of the forward pack, and along also halfback Sam Scarlett, but the forward pack from what we saw last year has just been decimated. You know, so many. Max Elliott's not there anymore.
No Rockley. Zach Hoskins with the Penrith Panthers.
Exactly. No Love Henry. No, Matua Love Henry's out of the side. Most of the forward pack that we saw last year isn't there anymore.
Yeah. You'd argue they had the biggest player turnover in the off-season, Wynnum Manly, and they're undefeated under new coach Matthew Head, and he's brought in a couple of English recruits as well.
Yep. Did we mention Aaron Rockley? The Rock?
Rockley, yep.
The forward pack that we saw last year making the finals is not there now.
Yep.
Or nearly making the finals, because as I said, they were right on track. They lost 6 of their last 7 games at the end of last year to drop from 4th right out of the top 8, finished 9th.
I know he was injured, but you can add Harrison Graham to the mix there as well.
Absolutely.
The year before, Jaden Beryl got signed by Cronulla. They had to adjust there, so they've done a wonderful job. The Seagulls' new coach.
Tristan Hope's gone to the Tigers.
Tristan Hope.
Is there anybody left? Well, I tell you, he's left a whole lot of new faces, and there's a lot of enthusiasm.
Apple Capinius. I think he's back with the Hunters.
So there's so much enthusiasm because they've put a new squad together. I think they've decided, okay, Wynnum Manly, we're going for a new era with a new bunch of players.
Little kick through there was well read and anticipated by the Seagulls defender there, and looks like that might have been Joshua Sim. There he is, Josh Sim. He's one that's come from St Helens in the English Super League, and his first year with the Seagulls. And of course, Warren Matthew Head played in England himself, and he's actually got some relationships over there which helped him recruit the likes of Josh Sim and also Jack Croft for this season.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from.
Yeah, there had to be some connection to suddenly see a few of these players arrive. But the most interesting one really today, I'll be watching closely as the game goes on, is Brendan O'Hagan, a 24-year-old halfback, and they've named him captain as well. And in his debut season in the Host Plus Cup, but he represented Ireland, as you mentioned earlier, in the World Cup, and last couple of seasons he's been playing in the UK for the York Knights. But originally from Australia, I think he was born in Goss, played up around Newcastle at one stage. And so it's interesting to see him, the red-headed halfback.
Yeah, jumping number 7 for Wynnum Manly, and was voted by his peers as the captain this year. They did a vote to decide. Yeah,
a real tick of approval from the players.
Here's Kitron Larker.
Jackson Valent.
Strong, hard-running back rower. Coach Matty has predicted he'll make an appearance for the PNG Kummels before too long. As they go from the right edge to the left edge. Played there by Brendan Fry. What a battle today. Salivating up against Jeremiah Simbican on that left side for the Seagulls, right side for the Dolphins. A smoothie. Does a little pirouette before Jackson Fry it was. Got a hand to it, and they'll get 6 more here, Wynnum Manly.
It's a fascinating battle, isn't it, in the second row, both wearing the number 11 for opposing teams. Jackson Fry versus Brendan Fry. Jackson, 25 years old, had a couple of games with the New Zealand Warriors in the NRL. 31 games in the Host Plus Cup. And then Brendan Fry, he's a brother and opponent, 26 years old. And last year, well, split the season between the North Devils and the Northern Pride, but both talented players, both sons of Harry Fry, the great Queensland Sheffield Shield fast bowler. but making their mark in rugby league. But today, like the Johns brothers did yesterday when Newcastle met Manly, it was head-to-head between Jack and Cooper Johns. Today we've got the Fry brothers up against each other, two big second rowers today.
Indeed we have. Great Queensland sporting family, the Fries. We'll take this opportunity to head down to the sideline with an update from Adam Jackson.
Yeah, we can see it's Connor Williams, the young half, receiving some strapping on his knee for injured earlier. We were also talking about no Albert Kelly in the team today. So I was speaking to Ben Teo. He just wants to mix up his halves. He's got 3. He wants to see how it goes into 2, the best. So round 2, it was Kelly Hunter in the halves. Round 3, it was Kelly Williams in the halves. And today, Williams and Hunter. Ben Teo was the Colts coach here at Redcliffe last year, and Williams and Hunter was his half pairing for the majority of the season. So he just wants to see how they gel, and so that's the reason. So I'm told Albert Kelly definitely not injured today.
All right, thank you, Adam. G doesn't miss a trick, does he, Adam Jackson? He's all over it.
He's in the coach's ear.
And interestingly, Ben Teo was the Colts Dolphins coach last year. Well, Scott Murray, last year's head coach of the Host Plus Cup, is literally swapped. He's become the Colts coach this year.
Now watch Wynnum Manly here attacking from a scrum, 10 metres out after that knock on.
O'Hagan finding Larker. Back on the angle. Be hard to stop from there, Kitchener Larker. He's so strong. And now Max Plath runs straight at that padded post. Just coming up short, but they've got a sniff here, Wynnum Manly, and now Rogers off the left foot. Brody Tamarua is on, the debutant for the Seagulls. And now O'Hagan out the back, Milson. He had Josh Sim on his outside, and Patama read it well. Tackled 12 metres away there, Milson, O'Hagan. And Max Plath again. On the forwards today, 6 metres away. Last play, Smoothie, a bit of a gap here to work with for the Seagulls. Can they get the offload away? That's Jack Martin. And great defence there from the Redcliffe Dolphins. He saw that gap. He was given an inch, Jack Martin, but the defence converged accordingly.
Yeah, that was much better defence from Redcliffe, and the crowd applauding it. They closed the gaps down. They appeared a couple of times for the likes of Martin and Max Plath, but each time the forwards quickly closed it down, managed to keep the line intact. And they were aided. There were a couple of plays there from Wynnum Manly. Didn't quite have the timing. You got to. When you want to ask those questions with a decoy run, everything's got to be synchronised, beautiful timing, so that the defenders are guessing, but it was a little bit telegraphed because some of the runs weren't timed well.
Penalty to the Dolphins, as we acknowledge their match day sponsor. Thanks to Village Motors North Lakes, sponsors of the Dolphins and home of Renault, GMSV, Nissan, Haval and Great Wall. Big thanks to Village Motors North Lakes, proudly supporting the Redcliffe Dolphins.
Here's a relieving penalty. 3 players in the tackle, and the referee blowing the whistle. Not sure exactly what the call was there, but it certainly gets Redcliffe off the hook and down the other end of the field, and a good strong run to start.
Well, they managed to hold on, and now they've got their own chance here to register points. There's Harrison McIndoe from the Redcliffe Dolphins, who's on the field in jumper number 14.
Yeah, he made plenty of ground on the first hitter.
He's the son of the great Emerald Express Warren Allen McIndoe. You'd know,
Here's a chance.
Allen well, and here's a chance here for Tavare in the corner. And now it's Redcliffe's turn to strike back. They've levelled proceedings thanks to Valence Tavare. 10 points all.
Well, so simple as that. A penalty. They backed it up with a couple of good hit-ups, swing it wide, and they're able to create the overlap. Let's take a look as Cody Hunter goes to the line, out the back. Trey Fuller's in the line, asking questions. Hawkins seems to be playing down the left edge and links up with Tafare, and some lovely draw and passing, and sweet as you like, out to an unmarked Tafare. Even if he was marked, he's going to be hard to stop, but he powers over in the corner, and that is a fine piece of football by Redcliffe, and they hit back on the Macca's replay.
At Super Cheap Auto, whether you drive an old car, new car, new old car, two-wheel car, or a no-wheel car, whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super.
Valence Tavare, there he is. He's also part of the groundskeeping team here at KO Stadium, Tavare. And you're right, Warren, he appears to be playing on that left wing, and Hawkins seems to be playing in a little.
Well, we certainly saw Hawkins chime in from behind,
he's got
setting
two
up
tries
that first
now.
try. Yeah, exactly. And he's handed that pass nicely to Tafaro, but that was precision work from Redcliffe. Ball looks like it's aiming just left of the upright. The breeze is kind of blowing into his face from the northeast here. How good is Cody Hunter?
He's got that ball right in the shade.
Whoa.
He starts it right, it's coming back. And the score remains 10-all. And the Dolphins scored the first, Seagulls the next two, and Tavare, Adam Jackson, has got the Dolphins back on level peggings.
Yeah, well and truly a crowd favourite here, Val, at the moment. They've done exceptionally well to draw level, given the amount of possession that Wynnum have had in the early stages, on top of having a player sin bin the Dolphins. So it looks as though with those changes that McIntyre has come on and will play on the right side in that 5/8 role, because Connor Williams has succumbed to that knee injury. He's off the field at the moment, the number 6.
Find the kicker.
Yeah, by the time it got to Jack Croft on the wing for Wynnum Manly there, he had about 2 or 3 coming at him.
So Harrison McIndoe, as you just heard from Adam, to play in the halves in jumper number 14. And as I was in the middle of saying, he's the son of the great Emerald Express, Alan McIndoe, who you'd appreciate, Warren. He was one of the fastest to ever play the game, something that you can relate to.
I can relate to chasing the likes of him.
As can Tavare, he can relate to it. There's no stopping him. Inside pass to the halfback, Cody Hunter. Oh, shut the gates. Hunter's over underneath the posts. And now it's Redcliffe's turn to score 2 tries in 2 minutes. What a try from the Dolphins.
Well, unbelievable sudden turnaround. Remember, only 5 minutes ago, Redcliffe were doggedly defending their own line, and they held out, and they've reaped the rewards of that defence. They got a penalty, they scored a try. Here they go again. Trey Fuller with a lovely late pass. They've got to start marking Tafaro. You can't not be in front of him when he's about to get the ball. You've got to stop him before he gets a roll on. And that's a beautiful pass back inside to Cody Hunter, backing up beautifully. So Hunter doing everything right as well. He's starting them, he's finishing them. Great try on the Maccas replay, and Redcliffe come back roaring into the lead.
Yes, indeed. And again, the usual suspects involved. Trey Fuller, Jeremy Hawkins doing some great work with his positioning and just running lines to keep the defenders guessing. And he was in support there as well, Hawkins, although Hunter was the option Tavare opted to pass to. It
was lovely work by Trey Fuller, wasn't it? Came into the line and he got rid of that ball really quickly, but he cut out 2 or 3 players in the twinkling of an eye. Very little the defence could do to counter what Fuller was up to.
We're right behind this one from Cody Hunter. As he adds the extras, convert your containers into cash donations for your club. Visit containersforchange.com.au. As we have another look at the replay here, and Balance Tavare again, Adam Jackson causing havoc down that left side.
Oh, he loves playing in front of the crowd, loves playing in that little bit of a shade area as well that's coming down from the grandstand. Cody Hunter, as we mentioned, demoted last week to BRL. Ben Teo will be delighted with his support play today. Wynnum Manly looking to make a change. One of Warren's favourite players, Kalolo Saitawa, coming on, always brings a bit of energy, and they need it now, the Seagulls.
You're right, Adam. I was wondering where Kalolo Saitawa's been the first few weeks of the season. Don't think he hasn't been in the squad, but making his, from my knowledge, first appearance of the year, and coming off the bench at the beginning of last year, he was absolutely dynamite. As the season went on, I don't think he had quite the impact, but he's got the ability.
Good Tyson. Tackle.
So the Dolphins here. And that's Ben King over the 40. So after scoring points, the Dolphins now comfortably over halfway. I was going to say I thought Josh Rogers was Warren's favourite player. I wasn't aware it was Kalolo Saitawa.
I got a lot of favourites, Drury.
And now Fuller's through with these. He gets past O'Hagan. He's got support on the outside in Hawkins. And Jeremy Hawkins scores. And there probably isn't a player on the field more deserving. Hawkins, he's been in everything without scoring one, and now gets one himself.
What's going on, Drew? I didn't know you weren't allowed to tackle today. It's over, they changed the rules for the first 40 minutes. A lot of tackles being missed out there badly. look at this run. Cody Hunter in a dummy half, gives it to Fuller. Fuller just pushes off O'Hagan, gave him the shove. It was as simple as that. That gave him the break, and quick backing up there. Good play. There'll be alongside him Jeremy Hawkins, but this missed tackle, well, I've seen Brendan O'Hagan miss a couple of tackles in this first half. He's going to have to brush up in that area and quickly if he's going to play Host Plus Cup. And as a captain, you've got to lead by example. They don't want to see their captain missing tackles like that in close. Macca's replay showing him up.
There he is, Jeremy Hawkins. He's got a couple of try assists and now a try in what has been a very, very good half of football from Hawkins in a topsy-turvy battle.
Having said that, O'Hagan was very much on his own, wasn't he? There was nobody else around. It was him one-on-one versus Trey Fuller. And Fuller is pretty quick on his feet, but yeah, that close to the ruck, you want some fairly tight defence.
Now, Cody Hunter, the 21-year-old. This one's a little easier for him, about 8 in from touch, and he sends it straight through the middle thanks to Containers for Change. Convert your containers into cash donations for your club. Visit containersforchange.com.au. Adam Jackson.
Yeah, it's clearly a deliberate ploy from the Dolphins this afternoon to attack that right side of Wynnum. They just keep going there every time they have good balls. Turned into a gold mine for them so far, getting another try. Obviously identified it as a weakness during their midweek analysis, but I can't believe the scoreline based on the first 20 minutes of what we saw.
22 points to 10. And tricky kickoff to deal with there, but eventually it's Jackson Fry returning it almost up to the 20. 17 out from his own line, 9 in from touch.
Nearly every try by both teams has been scored from the other side of halfway. It's not a matter of getting down there and then putting on a few plays. They're breaking the defences from, their own side of halfway and just going on with it.
Junimus Louis on the field. I'm told he is the skipper this year, Warren, despite starting from the bench. And when he's off the field, Patama will take over those duties. Now Simbican. Hooked up there by Brendan Fry. I know Taylor Brown's watching at home, enjoying that battle this afternoon. So Hunter, the Dolphins, 35 out from the Seagulls try line. A high one here, but well taken. And that is Jack Croft at the back. Now he's also played in the English Super League with the Wakefield Wildcats, a powerful winger. Brought to the club by coach Matthew Head.
Well, this is a bit more of a test now for Wynnum Manly. They've had it all their own way this season. Big win over Mackay round 1, 4-4-6. Round 3 they defeated Ipswich 50-6. It was tougher in round 2 when they beat the Tigers 28-26, but now they've got to work a bit harder to get back into this game. They've got to control the football, make good ground, get it up the other end of the field.
So the kick from O'Hagan. And a tricky one for Trey Fuller. He did not get a kind pounce initially. The second one was very kind, however. And fortunately for him, it was.
Well, that kick from O'Hagan from his 40 to their 40, or to their 20, I should say, coming down and was causing Fuller all sorts of problems.
And Robert Jennings, the younger brother of Michael and George. He moves to the centres today, actually played on the wing last week, Robert Jennings, so a bit of a reshuffle in the Dolphins back line.
And the reason for that was Jack Bostock playing in the NRL this weekend instead of at the Host Plus Cup level. Promotion for him, and that caused the shuffle in the back line.
So again, Cody Hunter with the kicking duties. It's another high one, as we heard from Adam Jackson. Harrison McIndoe moves into the halves with the youngster Connor Williams, who left the field.
Just shows you all these Dolphins players, no, they're only an injury away from getting a call-up. They see what happened with Jack Bostock. Played a couple of good games at this level, and yesterday played in the NRL against the Dragons down in Wollongong.
Here's Saitower.
Watch that. Out now, Jeremiah, lock in.
Kalolo Saitower, he's a favourite amongst the fans at Wynnum Manly. And here's the debutant, Brody Tamarua, his Host Plus Cup debut today, the 23-year-old. So Smoothie to Rogers inside the 40.
Play on.
And Trey Fuller well positioned. Takes it on the full 10 out from his own line here. The Dolphins as they charge upfield. And there's Braden McGrady, 31 away. Play number 1. Tavare now towards the 40. So perhaps time for a set of 6 each for both of these sides before the break.
Off the ball now. Go 3.
Jackson Fry. And now Louis the skipper.
Play. Tackle. Still 3.
Good late pass.
Late ball away. Did well. 37 metres out.
Go 4.
Patama to play it. Fuller at dummy half as he distributes there to Ryan Jackson, who's on. Another Colts player coming through the ranks with the Dolphins. And now last play, they'll get a shot at the line here. Hunter puts it high. And it was well weighted. Gella Mosby was there. And they'll just look to build some pressure here, the Dolphins. They've regained the lead. They lead by 12 remarkably. That was Milson, and here's Mariner. It'll be a penalty to Wynnum Manly. So perhaps Wynnum Manly will have the final say in the opening 40 minutes.
Well, they'd certainly like to hit back just before half-time, to go to half-time with a bit of momentum behind them, reduce that margin. But they've only got a few seconds, couple of plays to do it from their own end of the field.
Yeah, they might get perhaps 2 more plays. Wynnum Manly, Rogers showing it, O'Hagan, and Milson just lost his footing a little bit. Fry over the top in the tackle. Also there was Hawkins. As the siren sounds, side tower, Milson, touched by Hawkins. And that should be the end of the first half. And an enthralling half of football, really. We saw 6 tries, a couple of lead changes. And when it's all said and done, after the opening 40, it's the home team, the Redcliffe Dolphins, leading 22 points to 10 here at KO Stadium over their arch rivals, the Wynnum Manly Seagulls.
Well, it was a very entertaining first half of football. The crowd certainly getting their money's worth. Some spectacular tries, some outstanding running and passing from Redcliffe, particularly down their left edge, capitalising on it through the likes of Hunter and Tafare and Hawkins. Some free-flowing football as well. Wynnum Manly started strongly enough, looked like they would probably be the first team to score, but couldn't quite get it over the line. Instead, Redcliffe put first points on the board, and that gave them a boost of confidence. And even though Wynnum hit back with a couple of tries, yeah, that was a very good half of football from the Dolphins, and will give them a lot of heart to think that this could be their first win of the year.
22 points to 10 at half-time. The Redcliffe Dolphins leading Wynnum Manly. A double to Cody Hunter, also tried to Tavare and Hawkins for Redcliffe, and for Wynnum Manly tries to Max Plath and also Matthew Milson. 22 points to 10. We're going to take a quick break. Stay with us on the other side. Macca's half-time. Yes, big crowd here this afternoon at KO Stadium. It is 4X rivalry round in the Host Plus Cup. Round 4 action. And it's the home team, the Dolphins, leading Wynnum Manly despite trailing 10-6 earlier on. And they lead 22 points to 10 as we go downstairs to Adam Jackson.
Thanks, Drew. The halftime message from Dolphins coach Ben Teare basically reiterated what he said at the start of the game. We heard him challenge his side, be more energetic, be more upbeat, be more enthusiastic. Very pleased with the first 40 minutes. He said we need to repeat that. Plenty of energy in the second stanza to hold on for a victory. It looks as though they'll be down on troops too. Connor Williams appears to be an MCL injury on that knee. Tyson cleared one of their starting middles, heavily strapped on his right arm around the bicep region. So it looks as though they'll be down on troop. They're going to have to be brave here. Redcliffe in the second stanza, no doubt a fired up Wynnum Manly side ready to kick off this second half of this rivalry round encounter.
Yes, they're going to have to be brave indeed, the Wynnum Manly side, and one man that will help their cause if he can fire is this man, Dean Mariner. He is our Shell V-Power play to watch in the second half. Need to get to the game, then fill up with Shell V-Power 98, the premium fuel designed to deliver unbeatable protection. Fuel the feeling with Shell V-Power. As Rogers looks to restart this one, and Dean Mariner, we mentioned earlier, Warren, 4 tries last week. He is a game breaker.
Yeah, he's a magnificent runner of the football. Dean Mariner, one to watch in the second half for sure.
Shallow-ish kick-off from Rogers as the Dolphins spread it straight away via Fuller to Louis. So 22 points to 10, looking for their first win of the season, remarkably, the Redcliffe Dolphins, having made the grand final last season, and really they're only a try away from winning the grand final.
The Dolphins have a remarkable record. The Host Plus Cup, as it was started back in 1996. Redcliffe Dolphins 6 times premiers, 6 times runners-up. What a record.
Hold the phone, Warren. Fuller's through. He's got support on the outside in Braden McGrady, and he's dropped it. Braden McGrady, and he was
Where do you want to play the ball?
running down that same side where he scored the winning try in last year's grand final. The pass was a little in front of him, I thought, Warren.
No.
Yeah, dummy from Fuller, makes the break. Support inside and outside. Yeah, he looked inside, and I think then he turned outside, and the pass was just a fraction low, more on the hips rather than the chest of McGrady. But really, Braden McGrady eats tries like that. He should have taken it, and he was probably already had the ball down over the line.
And as a former wing, as a former flyer, how much onus is on the winger there to time his run?
Well, they're both going flat out. Fuller's going pretty fast too. I think McGrady probably had a little bit more up his sleeve. You are right. You've got to stay behind your man. You want to be right there without going past him too early. But, and I mean, look, there's an onus on the passer. It sounds very easy to just pass on the chest when you're standing still or running slowly. When you're going flat out, it's a different matter. That last pass can be harder to put exactly where you want it, but in that situation, I think what happened was because Fuller looked inside first, if he had just set up to pass outside, I reckon that would have been right on the chest of McGrady. He would have been behind the post, and we look into the conversion now.
No disadvantage, still 4.
Instead, we're looking at Tower here for the Seagulls, 25 metres out from the Dolphins try line. Short side, last play, O'Hagan, and didn't get as much height as he would have liked to enable those chasers to come through. In the end, it's dealt with by the Dolphins rather easily. Is that Jeremy Hawkins staying down?
Time out, tackle 1. Jeremy's got the ball.
Taking a whack in the face. I was mentioning the tremendous record of the Dolphins, not to underestimate the record of Wynnum Manly in this competition as well. Twice premiers in 2011 and 2012, as we saw at half-time with Luke Dalziel-Don, one of their best ever, and twice runners-up, 2019 and 2021.
Yep.
So both teams highly rated by all of their opposition year after year.
Indeed, some of the 2 most celebrated successful clubs in Host Plus Cup history. And
the best of Brisbane and Queensland Rugby League players have represented these 2 clubs. And of course that played into the decision to give the Dolphins an NRL licence. They have a tremendous heritage in rugby league in this state.
Where you are.
So penalty to Redcliffe. You're absolutely right. Some big names to come through both of these clubs. I mean, the King, Wally Lewis, is just one of many.
Absolutely.
One of many.
It's a question when you start to name the many great players who played for both clubs. It's who do you forget to mention? You're going to embarrass yourself because there's one player you'll forget.
So the Dolphins here with number 13, Ben King. As Patama fires it out here to Hunter off the left. Louis on his inside.
Pretty critical state of the game already, isn't it? Redcliffe 22-10, 12 points up already right now. If Wynnum don't score the next try, they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Well, they're just getting offloads away far too easily at the moment, Redcliffe. Here is Harrison McIndoe. Playing in the halves with Williams off. Louis. Dunamis Louis and Patama, the 2 leaders of this football club. Patama, Hunter, little kick and chase. He might get there first, and he will. And there's a hat-trick for Cody Hunter. His 3rd try today. Beautifully measured kick. And they get the first in the second half here, the Dolphins.
Thank you. Yeah.
He's having a whale of a game, Cody Hunter. He did everything in the first half, and now he adds to it. Goes to the line, sees the space in between, kicks behind, And Milson racing across, could not get there. So much pressure on a fullback these days to cover all variety of kicks, including these. Milson just couldn't get there. Hunter, brilliant awareness, brilliant ability to look behind, to see the space, to take the space, and then to get there himself. Nobody else could beat him to the ball. 26-10 to Redcliffe on the Macca's replay.
Cody Hunter, what a game he is having, and I don't know how long Ben Teo anticipates to be experimenting with his halves, but this man, Cody Hunter's certainly putting his hand up for a starting spot each week.
Oh, I think Cody Hunter's nailed down one spot. If he didn't already, he is on this performance. Albert Kelly and Connor Williams can battle out the other spot.
Now Hunter, 21 metres out. Distance not a problem. It's a superb kick. Flags are raised. And that is another containers for change conversion. Convert your containers into cash donations for your club. Visit containersforchange.com.au. Adam.
I really love how late he kicks at the line here. He just holds off, holds off, holds off. What that does is confuses the defence and allows him that extra half second to get to beat the fullback to the ball and score. Really has been a revelation, Cody Hunter. Spent a fair bit of time training with Sean O'Sullivan in the halves in the Dolphins NRL squad in the off-season. Some of his tips for a more experienced half filtering down and really paying dividends today in the Host Plus Cup.
Well, they can do with a half at the moment, the NRL Dolphins, with O'Sullivan out of action for a while. Here is a break from Jackson Fry, linking up with Fuller on the inside. Hunter wasn't happy with Gillum Osby, and Gillum Osby wasn't happy with Hunter. Tavare steps in.
Gideon, I've got it. The Lance.
And a little bit of push and shove ensues.
Look, the tackle from Gillum Osby no doubt was high and the whistle went for it, but he was making a desperate tackle here. I don't think there was any intent. He's just desperately trying to stop him. And there it is. Pulls him down at an awkward angle. Don't even know if he hit the head, but he certainly was over the shoulder into the neck and maybe got the head, and that's definitely a penalty any time.
Just a penalty.
Off.
Yeah, but, you know, it's this next player who comes in and pushes and makes a bigger deal of it.
Mate, you've heard the penalty go, and that's how it gets worse, okay? Don't do that again.
Dead right,
Jeremy.
Put the third man in the bin. Clean them. Just stop them doing it. These heroes come running in from nowhere, suddenly want to make a big deal out of what's just obviously a desperate accidental tackle.
It's going to go on report, okay? Now, I had in control of that, and I know he's coming at you. You don't need to respond, okay? That's how it blows up. Happens again, you know what happens.
Here's Gillum Osby, and
Number 2. Yeah, thank you.
He's got some size about him for a winger, doesn't he?
Good, Jackie.
He certainly did, and that tackle had to be made. Obviously, he'd like to have it over again. Fuller came up full of cheek as well. Nobody's going to throw a punch anymore, Drury, of course. That's against the rules, absolutely. So all the little guys, they're up and they're sticking their chin out. Come on, I'll have you. Come on, oh, geez, give me a break. Get him out of there, ref.
Exactly.
Stop the extra man coming in and causing an eruption. So much bravado involved in a lot of that. And there's a lot of the times these days, they're sticking up for their teammate. Yes, I'll give them that. But over incidents, and once upon a time, weren't even penalised. Now they're penalised. Fair enough too. It's good to cut them out of the game. But now everyone wants to make a big scene about it. Just get on with the game.
Yeah.
Outside and through.
Here is Hunter now. Fuller, looping pass. He put it in front of Tavare. It was legal.
Play the ball,
Tavare just really being enticed to run onto that.
Here, 20.
Gillum Osby and Tavare nearly had to, Tavare nearly had to try and break the tackle of Gillum Osby, and they have a laugh at each other and just point at each other, a bit of banter. No, nothing intended by it. That's the spirit you want to see in a game.
We speak about the fact there's so many great names to come through both these clubs over the years. We're not going to mention them all. I'm going to mention one, Warren, and that is Lionel Morgan, the first Indigenous player to represent Australia, and he did that whilst playing for Wynnum Manly. So another one. The list goes on, really.
Yeah, very famous player in the Australian jersey is Lionel Morgan. That probably dates back to the 60s, I reckon. 60s or 70s.
1960, I believe.
Going there.
So Wynnum Manly in trouble here, down by 18 points, 3 converted tries behind. They need to start making some inroads right now from field position like this.
Here's a high one. Mariner lurking. Braden McGrady took it very comfortably and then made a few metres on top. Brendan Fry giving away the penalty there on tackle number 1.
Yeah. It's so easy to want to make the most of that field position and slow them down, hold them down, but it's deadly if you give away a penalty. And yeah, just the extra leg pull there from Fry on McGrady. McGrady, who now in the Dolphins system, and was saying how great it's been in the off-season and the early part of this year to be a full-time professional, to train, to be fit, to eat well, not have to worry about going to work. And he's looking to have a big season, and I'll be surprised if he doesn't.
So now Robert
I
Jennings.
need you to hold. Hold.
So Redcliffe, well and truly, they have a comfortable lead, but they are dominating the ruck in these last 5 or so minutes. Just seems like Wynnum Manly giving them lots of time to get offloads away and just lots of time to put their attack together. Here's Patama, gets away from one would-be tackler and now up to the 10.
He's been very tidy, Patama too, hasn't he?
Jack Martin in the tackle, and chance here. They're over the try line, Redcliffe. I think it's McIndoe. Can he get the ball down?
Out 10.
But again, barely a hand on him, Warren, Harrison McIndoe, before he was a metre out from the try line.
Yeah, the Seagulls are on the back foot. They just can't exert any defensive pressure. They're doing a lot of tackling. Gave away that penalty before, which led to putting them back in their own end of the own half of the field.
All right, let's go back down to Adam Jackson for an update on the conditions. Adam, I can see you've got your Hastings steering cap on. You've got the shades on, well protected. What are the conditions doing at the moment?
Yeah, very warm here this afternoon. It'll be a war of attrition this closing 30 minutes, but huge interchange has taken place. Wynnum Manly, their captain and halfback O'Hagan has come off, succumbing to a right knee injury. That's why Tony Pello's out on the field in number 19 jersey. So it looks as though Milson might have moved to the halves. Pello at fullback, about to get the ball now off this kick.
All right, thank you. And Wynnum Manly, there is Pello. Couldn't get a foot to it. It wasn't a kind bounce. So Warren, I suspect that means Josh Rogers goes to halfback.
Well, we'll have a close look at last week. Tony Pello was the halfback because Cody Hunter, I should say not Cody Hunter, because Brendan O'Hagan wasn't in the game. So Pello played half last week. Of course, he's better known as a fullback and a very good fullback. He's pulled a few games out of the fire last season for the East Tigers, but Milson's a pretty good footballer at fullback as well. So we'll just see where exactly they do settle down. Here's Rogers, just one off the rug, but just feeding it onto the forwards. So maybe it will be Rogers who takes over that halfback role.
And I think just leading up to this, Seagulls have it, Warren. Smoothie looked like a one-on-one strip. Now Wynnum Manly on the attack. Let's have another look at this, thanks to Mac, as it was Simbican who had possession. And there you go, one-on-one strip. Well done there from Smoothie. So the Seagulls, a massive chance here. Could this be a turning point? Off the back of the one-on-one strip for a Smoothie, there is Pello. It looks like he is playing halfback, as you said, Warren. And
well, they've got a few options.
Tower.
Because Max Plath is a halfback as well. They have a few options.
You're not wrong. And Plath standing in first receiver then. And how about the shot there from Trey Fuller?
Look at the smile on his face.
On the debutant, Tamarua. Welcome to the Host Plus Cup, he says. And Rogers, there was a fingernail in that, just a bit too much on the kick. It'll come out to the 20.
Just a fraction too straight and too hard, that kick. Put the pressure on at the back, that's for sure. But unlike Cody Hunter's kick, which led to a try a little while ago, that one goes over the dead ball line.
Still going here, Braden McGrady. We saw Lyndon McGrady return for the Tweed Seagulls yesterday. That close one. Just going down to Burleigh, 14-12. We've seen a few draws this weekend as well, Warren.
Yeah, it's been a good competition so far this year, hasn't there? Some really strong performances, but as you say, Burleigh just 2 points winners over Tweed yesterday, and Northern Pride 1 point winner over the Blackhawks. and an 18-all draw between South Logan and the Devils.
And North still winless, the premiers. Can you believe it? Two-time premiers.
2 draws, but no wins.
So Patama, Redcliffe looking to break their win duck here today, but the kick from Hunter went straight to Tony Pello, and he gets away from one here, Tony Pello. Tavare is chasing, he's making inroads. Tavare, a desperate dive, but he can't get the Pello, and Tony Pello will waltz in for a Wynnum Manly Seagulls 4-pointer.
Well, what a wonderful chase that was from Tavare, who looked as if he was gaining on Tony Pello, and then Tony Pello, spring-heeled, just swerved away from him at the last moment and left him grasping at thin air. There's the kick from Hunter. It rebounds. Pello onto it very quickly, beats one. Looked as if he would streak away here, but great determination. And Tafare starting to wind up and show that he can go 100 metres. But Tony Pello brings it around closer to the post, so this could be a turning point if Wynnum Manly are going to get back into it. On the rebound of the kick on the Macca's replay, Pello takes them from one end to the other.
Host Plus is a top-performing industry super fund run only to benefit our members. An industry fund that puts you first? That's a plus.
So Tony Pello with a very important try for Wynnum Manly, former Brisbane Tiger. And, well, he got given a 10-metre head start on Tavare, and Tavare very nearly ran him down.
Now, are you going to give Cody Hunter an assist for that try as well? He put in the kick, which led to the try.
I don't think that counts, Warren.
I don't think it's one that he wants to take.
He's been in everything, Cody Hunter.
And of course, that is the danger. Every time you try to grub her through, there is the possibility of a rebound that you're sort of backing the odds to be with you, and with good reason, but occasionally it goes wrong. Now, Rogers needs to start converting every try.
And a successful conversion from Josh Rogers. Convert your containers into cash donations for your club. Visit containersforchange.com.au. 28 points to 16. Adam Jackson, the margin now 12.
Yeah, this is exactly what Wynnum Manly needed to change the momentum. This happened right in front of me. Bear in mind too, Val's played 55 minutes in the heat. Tony Pello's just come on. He's fresh off the bench. So exceptional effort by the big barrel-chested centre to almost chase him down. While that happened, Dolphins made a double change. They're starting middles back on Po Farmasili and Nathan Watts.
Thank you, Adam. Yes, he was fresh, Tony Pello, but he still showed a clean pair of heels. It's a good chase from Tavare.
It's the sort of thing Tony Pello can do, though. He loves to get out wide. Now, that one came on the back of an error, obviously, from the Dolphins, but particularly late in a game when players are tiring, he'll get out wide, and if you feed him the ball, he's got tremendous speed. And I mentioned I saw that he single-handedly pulled games out of the fire for the Tigers on a couple of occasions last year, end-to-end tries.
He showed plenty of speed. Pello reminded me of a young Warren Boland in full flight in the 1976 Amco Cup grand final for the Tigers.
I'm glad it did, but I'm not sure what you're remembering. There are, I think, 3 members of last year's Tigers squad in this Wynnum Manly New Looks team this year. William Samuels there, Darius Farmer's there as well as Tony Pello. Pello had a bit of a connection to Matthew Head from back at the St George under-20s.
Half break from Cody Hunter. He well and truly has been in the thick of things today. Fry. Strong tackle on him.
Mark, stay up.
The Dolphins. It's Nathan Watts who's back on the field.
Go, not late.
Batama, a metre into Seagulls territory, and Hunter. Pressure on the kick, finds the grass though. And here's Jack Croft to bring it back for Wynnum Manly. So 28 points to 16 over 20 minutes remaining. Still plenty of time.
Yeah, definitely game on again.
No, it's foul play.
Once they broke it out to 28-10, it looked as if the Dolphins, scoring that first try of the second half, could be about to run away. But that Pello try brings the scoreline back within 2 converted tries, and anything can happen over the last 22 minutes of this match.
There is a replay of the penalty against Farmer-Silly.
Penalties dictate momentum in the game. Penalties
They certainly do.
And 6 agains, of course. Not
Yes.
that they haven't been as dominant in this game so far.
Are you a fan of the set restart rule? Just while we're on the topic.
Ooh. Yes, I am, but I think somehow there needs to be more accountability, at least at some point in the game, for the decisions made by a referee in awarding 6 again, because it's so discretionary and arbitrary, and nobody in the crowd knows all of that sort of stuff. But I don't mind the idea of rewarding teams.
Head never comes through. You're on report, number 9, Redcliffe.
So against Patama here, another penalty to Wynnum Manly.
2 penalties in a row. More tackling for the Dolphins. Takes a bit of juice out of them.
There's Tyson Smoothie on screen. Contracted with the Brisbane Broncos.
Played 4 games in the NRL for the Melbourne Storm over the last couple of seasons.
Also got a younger brother, Jai Smoothie, in the Host Plus Cup as well. Go back towards Matthew Milson, just straightening.
I think he went behind his own player. Yeah, penalty for obstruction. Change of direction there. Rogers switching it from the right side of the ruck back to Milson behind the play the ball area, and he went behind 3 or 4. He probably thought, well, 1, he had no choice, and 2, that maybe he had a bit of distance between them, so the defenders weren't necessarily prevented from making a tackle, but that's not the way the referee, Jared Cole, saw it. Have another look. Oh, yeah, you can see one of the Dolphins got knocked over, in fact, by one of the Wynnum Manly players up front.
Unlucky for Milson there, not a lot he could do about that. So the Dolphins, 40 out from their own line. Simbican, Jeremiah Simbican, who is also contracted with the NRL team. He's got a 3-year deal. And now Farmer-Silly. He's played NRL for the Roosters, the Warriors and the Dragons. Patama, Watts.
Better defence, close marking there by Pello on Hunter, who's caused them so many problems today.
Good to see Hunter running it. Here's Watts again. Good to see the halves taking the hit-ups as well as Mariner did well there.
Now, Dean Mariner is a player you want to get into the game. With 20 minutes to go and you're down on the scoreboard, you want him getting his hands on the football. He can make a break out of nowhere and run forever.
That's better with his foot.
Yes, the former Australian schoolboy out of Palm Beach, Currumbin Mariner, very dangerous.
Go 3.
They can get him some early football.
Watch Cody.
And Milson again.
No more, Jackson!
So they've got
Enemy, Redcliffe.
Milson and Pello out there at the moment, Seagulls.
Arms are out. Contact's right.
And this is Will Samuel. We spoke about him being one of a number of former Brisbane Tigers in this Wynnum Manly team. Rogers, leading point scorer last year in the Host Plus Cup. Josh Rogers playing for Burleigh last year. And now Braden McGrady, the new recruit for the Dolphins. 30 out, tackle 1. Hawkins drifting across, strong body, good run from him. Plays at 41 out, 15 in from touch, and Rogers
Up now, Josh.
making the tackle as marker. That was on Jennings. Batama, Hunter, and again Nathan
Lost
Watts.
ball.
And the ball comes loose from Watts. So Gellum Osby now with some space, and he runs around Tavare, Gellum Osby, and then a Scott Sattler-like tackle, but did well to stay in field. Gellum Osby, chance here for Wynnum Manly. Smoothie, they got lots of time and space. Rogers, Mariner, and Jennings was good enough to defuse the situation. There's a tricky little step there from the left winger, and Jack Croft. And now Rogers again. Fartilli. Caius Fartilli. 9 away. Smoothie. Fry bounces off Simbican. Oh, so close, Brendan Fry. Still tackles remaining here for the Seagulls. Plath appears to be playing the halves. Rogers, Pello. And the defence right on top of Sims on that occasion, perhaps.
Jack Croft.
Perhaps Plath just playing as a middle forward, and Pello is in the halves. There is Pello. Back to the debutant, Tamarua. And almost shaped to get the offload away. Smoothie might go himself. No. Comes back to Fartilli, who steps, straightens, flick pass away. Max Plath. And Plath plants it down for his second. And again, that man, Caius Fartilli, is there anything he cannot do, the youngster? And Plath scores, and we are well and truly game on here.
Well, that was persistence from Wynnum Manly. Kept the ball alive, just kept on taking the tackle and getting the pass away. Kept moving it. There was always someone calling for it in support. And finally, Max Plath, with his determination, gets there. Fartilli, lovely flick out the back. There's the last pass to Plath, but there are a couple of more passes before that. Smoothie started to go the wrong way. Here's Fartilli. Looked like he might be able to go all the way himself. And good footwork and the stretch there from Max Plath, who scored a try early in the game, and he does it again, a very important try on the Macca's replay. And let's not forget that try-saving tackle from Tafare just a little while ago, and Gila Mosby as well.
Indeed, that was an important tackle. Rogers adds the extras thanks to Containers for Change. Convert your containers into cash donations for your club. Visit containersforchange.com.au.
Cheers to the East Tigers for their amazing fundraising. And cheers to Daphne and Frank, whose empties fund their grandkids' piggy bank. Cheers to the Changemakers.
So Wynnum Manly now with the last two tries of this game, and there is Max Plath. He's got a double. And as you mentioned, Warren, absolutely that was an important tackle that was made on Gela Mosby, but to no avail, of course.
Just deserved to be mentioned because,
Absolutely.
you know, like they're the sort of things that change a game. Tafare's made two great, one a great attempted tackle. Millie stopped Pello's try, and then he did manage to stop Gila Mosby, but yeah, they kept the ball alive in a Manly and eventually scored that most important try. Hang on to your seats here, 15 minutes to go, and it's very much in the balance.
Indeed it is. Hang on to your seats, and Adam Jackson, 15 minutes to go. We're set up beautifully here for a close encounter.
Oh, certainly this rivalry living up to all the hype once again. Just a reminder too, with both sides losing halves throughout the game, O'Hagan going off and Williams going off for the Dolphins, it's greatly affected their interchange. So both teams only have one substitute left for this remaining 14 minutes.
So just one substitution left. It is a warm day as well.
Lock in. Here, Redcliffe.
So conditioning could come into the outcome of this one. Rogers, they complete after scoring the Seagulls. This is high McGrady, poised and takes it comfortably. Braden McGrady, talk about game breakers, he's another one. But from their standards, probably both Braden McGrady and Dean Mariner, Warren, is it fair to say they've both been a little quiet today so far? Still time, of course.
Dean Mariner and
Braden McGrady.
Yeah, I agree. Very much that they have played within themselves, but there's still 10 minutes to make their mark on the game.
There's Fartilli and Brendan Fry. And the tackle on Robert Jennings. And Nathan Watts, who just keeps on keeping on. Max Plath showing his versatility in this one as well. He's grown in size, Max Plath, since we last saw him. Of course, we called that Colts grand final. He's a big boy, Max Plath, these days. Penalty to Redcliffe.
He definitely put on a bit of beef, Max Plath, but critical penalty goes against Wynnum Manly here.
2 points.
That was Fartilli on screen. Sorry, Warren.
Interesting, Cody Hunter is going to take a shot at penalty goal here from 40 metres out to try and stretch it to an 8-point lead. So there's a couple of factors come into play here. One, can he kick it straight? Can he kick it 40 metres? Can he kick it dead if he misses? Because you don't want to give away possession, but an 8-point lead getting late in the game would certainly give them a measure of comfort in the barrier, the buffer on the on the scoreboard.
The decision to go for 2 when you were playing, Warren, was that, I mean, you were captain, was that a captain's call? Was that a coach's decision?
Mostly a captain's call, to be honest, but with every year you started to see players looking more and more towards the dressing room for the 2 fingers in the air.
Well, particularly when the captain's all the way out in the other wing.
Yeah, but no, in my day, I called it. I think a lot of captains did. It's a serious pointer from one side of the field to the far side. It was not that easy when you were a winger and captain.
So an important kick here. Hunter, 39.5 metres out. Distance not a problem. Accuracy not a problem. And the Dolphins extend their lead to 8. 30 plays 22.
A big decision by the referee and a fine kick from Cody Hunter. He must be a contender for man of the match.
Yes, of course, we will have our presentation post-game of the Hastings Deering Player of the Match with Adam Jackson, of course. And Wynnum Manly now, they go short here with the kick. Fried, did that go forwards? It went to Jennings in any case.
Go on.
So good field position here to start the set for the Dolphins. Simbican. Both sides with just the 1 substitution remaining, as we heard. There's Trey Fuller. And Hunter. He's having some game today, Cody Hunter. And 30 plays 22. Farmer Silly. And now back to Hunter, and this kick's come off the side of the foot and didn't look too comfortable after that kick, Cody Hunter. It was dropped by McGrady, and Mariner cleans up. He runs straight into Simbican, 20 out from his own line.
Yeah, that kick from Cody Hunter, one of the few that hasn't come off his boot well. Both he and Rogers have kicked well today, particularly in the long kicking area for both of them. And Hunter obviously laying on a try with a beautifully judged short kick as well.
Max Plath from dummy half this time. How many positions is he playing, Max Plath? Over halfway, Wynnum Manly. Samuel thought about the offload. Harrison McIndoe was there as well as Simbican. Now Rogers back inside. Quick thinking there too by Milson, the smoothie. And now Wynnum Manly with Max Plath. 28 metres out. Short ball from Pello finds Saitow. This is the last. Saitow, little kick forward. Looking for a teammate. Hawkins got a touch to it. It might be a line dropout here. It is, in fact. So Saitow did incredibly well to keep that play alive, and he earns his team a repeat set.
Yeah, very important play here. A repeat set. Wynnum Manly can really set up from an organised position. Fresh in the legs after this set as well. Saitow.
30 seconds. Boys.
Makes life difficult for the Dolphins.
10 seconds.
But they have got that 8-point lead now. Is he going to kick long? Yes.
Oh, Cody Hunter, and it's gone straight to Jack Croft, who has knocked it on.
Well, that's a body blow for the Seagulls' hopes. The stars were starting to align for them. And right now, Jack Croft is seeing stars. What happened? What went wrong there? Seemed to be well positioned right on his chest. Eyes on the ball. It just dropped a fraction low on him. Rather than on the chest, it started to get down near his hips. Slight misjudgment. Knocked on.
Well, there's one common denominator I find with drop catches in any sport, Warren, and that's the feet not being set. And he was backtracking there, Croft, and it was just enough to put him off.
Yeah, there might have been just a little bit of breeze behind that from that northeast corner and just carried it on towards him more than he expected.
Miss Louis, and that was the previous play. Now Hunter, Fuller, and Fry drops it. So they hand back the footy to Wynnum Manly. They could have game managed from there, Redcliffe, but they've just kept the door slightly ajar here for Wynnum Manly in this battle of the Bayside. 4X rivalry round, host plus cup action, Sunday afternoon football, 8 points the margin, less than 10 to play. Mariner. Can he be the man to inject himself and deliver an important try here for Wynnum Manly? Here's Samuel. Rogers allows Saitao to run through as a decoy.
They needed a second man there. He didn't want to pass to the front man. He wanted to go out the back, and there was no one there.
Smoothie as they go via Pello, and a little tap on there finds Croft. The tap on from Milson it was. And now they got short side numbers as Milson stays there. Quick hands. Oh, wonderful spin move from Brendan Fry. He had an opportunity to pass it though. He elected to hold on to it. That was a legitimate opportunity. Warren, should he have passed that, or was he right to go himself?
Look, it's easy in hindsight. He should have passed it because he didn't make it to the line himself. And the winger was unmarked. See, there's Braden McGrady going through, looking for an intercept rather than sticking on his winger. He should have passed it. However, the spin, in other circumstances, maybe they would have taken the dummy and he would have been able to rotate around and plunge over. But yeah, with the benefit of hindsight, very easy. No, he made a mistake.
Well, perhaps Braden McGrady was onto that to the point where if he did pass it, perhaps he was concerned about the intercept.
Well, that's true too. Good point.
But that spin, I'll tell you what, Jane Torval and Christopher Dean would have been proud of that one, Warren.
Well, any back rower that close to the line would have thought he was a fair chance to score because he did put on a nice move. Nearly got there.
Well, they can manage the game from here, the Dolphins. There's a nice kick from Hunter, who puts Gella Mosby under pressure, but made it look easy. Did Gideon Gella Mosby, the former North Queensland Cowboy.
Well, Wynnum Manly have only got about 3 sets, or maybe 4 here now to produce more than 1 try. So they need to get cracking.
So held there is Brodie Tamarua. Now Pello met strongly there from McIndoe, who had some good line speed.
Yeah, good pressure from McIndoe coming up quickly. Forced the error, but they still retain possession. There's more pressure coming up from Fry for the Dolphins.
They really are targeting Brodie Tamarua, the Dolphins defenders. And Rogers, a miracle pass from Pello to Milson. It was a live ball, but Milson, well, the pass deserved better.
Well, it was such a miracle pass from Pello. I think he did intend it, but it could easily have been losing the ball. It was so good that Milson got a shock and couldn't take it. You see, Wynnum Manly are just starting to get into a bit of shape here late in the game. They're starting to have players out the back, a couple of options for the playmakers, like Rogers in particular here, to ask a few more questions of the defenders. I think at this level, it's not quite the NRL. They don't have as much time to practice. Look, maybe that was play on, and Milson, gee, you'd love to know what would have happened if he caught it. But they're starting to put a few plays together, but that pass going down might end Wynnum Manly's hopes.
Trey Fuller, the 2018 Premiership player for the Dolphins. McIndoe, Simbican, Mariner, and also Fry. Mariner with the strong legs tackle. Patama, quick play the ball. Fuller on his inside, kicks through. Mariner's there. Fuller was coming through in support, and Mariner retreats. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with the line dropout.
At Super Cheap Auto, we've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, didn't catch this guy's name.
It's Kevin.
Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super.
Yes, welcome back. And meanwhile, it's a 70-metre dropout. And so the Dolphins having to go all the way back to retrieve that. And Dunamis Lui will play it on his own side of halfway. Of course, we're off next week for the Easter break, but next time on QPlus.tv, KO Freebies and 9 Now will be at BMD Cougarai Oval, where Wynnum Manly hosts Tweed in round 5 action. Coverage live and free from 2 p.m. Sunday, April 16. As Redcliffe look to ice this with Ryan Jackson.
Pluff just going over the shoulder, no penalty.
Patama, Louis inside to Fuller. And Fuller puts the icing on the cake for the Redcliffe Dolphins. Finds his way over for the try. Trey Fuller, the Rockhampton product, who keeps on delivering for the Redcliffe Dolphins in what has been a comprehensive performance today.
Yeah, he's a fine footballer, isn't he, Trey Fuller? He's always looking for the opportunity and so often goes very close to scoring and so often does score a try. Little pass on the inside, a nice ball it was too there from Dynamis Louis, and Trey Fuller scampers over, got the ball down, and that is the winning try, and Redcliffe are going to be the victors in the battle of the Bayside. Another look at it, Patama, who's been very good all day as well. He's been working hard, tirelessly, good service out of dummy half. Picks up Louis back inside, the defence cracks open, they couldn't quite prevent the try, they were there to make the tackle, but couldn't stop Trey Fuller scoring the try. Trey Fuller, remember last year he was one of so many good fullbacks, Twain Tuapiki now playing for the Warriors, Tony Pello, another one of course. All these sharp shooting, smaller build fullbacks, like Dane Laurie down with the West Tigers, can't get a game with them at the moment.
Maybe Dylan Edwards is a more appropriate example, Warren.
Well, he's got a bit more beef on him.
Yeah.
Convert your containers into cash donations for your club. Visit containersforchange.com.au as Cody Hunter converts 36 points, 22. The Dolphins leading the Seagulls.
And we came into this game saying that the home team had won the last 8 games between these two sides. Well, make it 9. Home ground advantage.
Indeed. And it's now official as the siren sounds. So 36 points to 22, the final score. The Redcliffe Dolphins, grand finalists last year, Warren, they finally have their first victory for the season and first victory under new head coach Ben Teo.
Yeah, great performance from Redcliffe today, coming into the game with that hanging over their head. You don't want to go down first 4 games, no wins when you're a quality side, and well, they've quickly erased that sort of thought in anyone's mind. The Dolphins are in the comp well and truly for 2023. They've put in a strong performance today. Fans are going to come back because they played some great football, great to watch, but they have powered over the top of Wynnum Manly. They were just too solid in everything they did today, whether it was the first half where they put together some beautiful plays down the left-hand side with Cody Hunter and Jeremy Hawkins and Tafare to open up a 22-10 scoreline. 4 tries for the Dolphins in the first half. And then in the second half, just plugged away, probably not as convincing in the second half. It was much more of a tighter battle as Wynnum Manly made a fist of it in the second half. And they'll be disappointed by some of their mistakes, some of their the penalties they gave away at inopportune moments, and not building enough pressure today, Wynnum Manly, and not enough field position to really exploit on a regular basis. They didn't apply pressure to the Dolphins, but the Dolphins were always applying pressure to the Seagulls today. So congratulations to the Dolphins. They're on track, back on track. And Wynnum Manly, well, it's a blip after a great start to the season with 3 big wins, but suddenly they've run into a tougher opponent today and couldn't do the business.
Yeah, the first loss of the season for Wynnum Manly inflicted by Redcliffe, who were winless coming to this one. But an impressive display in front of their home fans for the Dolphins. Wynnum Manly, Warren, I just thought their defence wasn't there today.
Well, both teams early in the game, it was surprising the Dolphins got opened up. If you watch the first 5 minutes of this game, you'd think Wynnum Manly were going to win by 30 points. They went straight through the Redcliffe defence a couple of times. But Redcliffe, buckled down the job. And yeah, I thought as the game wore on, they were the dominant team. It always looked more like they were the winners, even when Redcliffe hit back. Should say Wynnum were down 28-10. They hit back with 2 tries to get it back within 6 points at 28-22 when Pello and Platt scored tries. But then they just couldn't quite go on within that penalty goal and really silenced their comeback.
All right, well, let's recap the score in this one. 36 points to 22 was the full-time scorer. Hat-trick Cody Hunter. He was everywhere today. He has to be a contender for the Hastings Deering Player of the Match. Hunter with 3, Tavare, Hawkins and Trey Fuller the other try scorers for the Wynnum Manly Seagulls. A double to Max Plath and also tries to Tony Pello and Matthew Milson. 36 points to 22. Redcliffe over Wynnum Manly. They win the Battle of the Bayside. And here is Adam Jackson with your Hastings Steering Player of the Match.